Hello. Okay, so this is my second Instagram. I'm so sorry. My second YouTube live ever. So I want to just say hello. My name is Dan Marie. This is Eden Rose, and Eden Rose is the way of life. And here today, I am going to be giving a reading. I'm sure you can see in the title. This is a twin flame reading. Okay. I am going to be tapping into the divine masculine energy and the divine feminine energy, and then together on a whole as, the divine energies of this existence, this being. I'm going to be doing a reading on the both of them together. So that's where we are now. Welcome to my channel. I'm really, really happy to be here. I'm super duper nervous, but I think that this is really awesome, and I'm actually really excited. So hopefully you've seen my other video that I've posted and videos that I've posted. Live is a little bit different, but I mean, I figured I go on Instagram Live, right? And I go on Facebook Live. So what's the big deal about YouTube, right? So we're going live. Anyway. So the energy, I had to sort of like sit and connect with the divine masculine energy before I started this video. And so I'm going to shuffle. I'm going to shuffle and pull some cards, okay, to start. Hopefully someone joins me. I don't have any viewers yet. Do I? I don't know. Does it show you whether or not someone's watching on YouTube, guys? I'm not really a huge technology fan. I like looking at the stars. Yay. See? It's my telescope. Yeah, it's way more fun. Okay. Oh, well, that's too much. Sorry, guys. Okay. So, excuse me. Tapping into the divine. Oh my goodness. Excuse me. It's almost like he doesn't really want me to talk much, the divine masculine. Okay, what messages do you have? What does the divine masculine have to say? We need to figure out exactly what is going on here, okay? That's what we're doing right now. I forgot to mention that. We want to know what is really going on. What is it that you have to say? What is it that the energy has to say? Whatever it is, wherever the message comes from, let's ask that our guides, divine energies of the planet come together to give us the message in the most clear way. Whoa! Guys, I'm telling you, this message does not want to come through. This is outrageous. Okay. He's almost like, the divine masculine is almost like, listen, shut it. We don't even need to do this figuring it out nonsense. This is what it is. Let's move forward. Ooh. He's like, the energy of the past is done. He wants it to be dead. It's time to kill it. It's time to be over. Let's look at it and watch it burn. Yeah. That's the gist. Wow. I'm going to show you guys the cards in a minute. But I just want to get my words. I'm very choked up. This card was in the reading that I just did on Instagram. Yes, it was. I'm going to talk a little bit about that card. Okay. So these first 6 cards. These first 6 cards were sort of the story of that's his message, like where he's at, like he's just kind of done with the BS, if there has been BS. He's ready to just focus on unity. He's allowing his old self to die. Or it's going to happen, or that's what he's in the process of doing. He might not know it. He's probably not conscious or aware of it, to be honest. But he's wanting the old self to die. And he's looking outside of himself for guidance. Not very far though. He's kind of just maybe stepping into a new idea, or he's about to get a new idea, or I need to sort of see what's happening else further along. I want some clarification on that card. This is a really cool reading. Message is strong, really strong. It's trying to be really specific. Okay. Wow. Does he want all of these? He wants all of these. Sugar spice. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna give you what I have so far. So this is the first card that came out, the 7 of Swords. Alright. The 7 of Swords is, he's just like, ready to like keep it moving. Like the swords are in the ground. I'm picking up after the battle. Like we already won this shit. You know what I mean? I'm over it. Let's just go. Let's just keep it moving. He's trying to find balance within himself. Okay, this is actually, that's why he wants to keep it moving. That's why he wants to just pick himself up and, try again. I'm not sure he completely knows how to do that, but he wants to. Okay. So this is, to me, the 8 of Wands represents twin flames. This is just a twin flame card for me. But it's just the way that this, to me, the reason that I find it is a twin flame card is how it reads to me. It is an 8, which is the infinity, right? However, it's broken up into 2. There's 4 on the top, 4 on the bottom, right? And anything in this deck in particular where there are clouds involved, the clouds to me represent divine energy, or divine consciousness, or divine intervention, or inspiration. Whatever it is, it's divine, right? It's divine timing. So he's recognizing the divine connection the two of you have. That's for sure. He knows it. It's not something that is like, a guess. He's 100% on that, and he's ready to be done with the fight. These two cards together tell me that he's ready to kill this. He's like, no, like, we don't need to be in this bondage with all of this fighting. This is ridiculous, because this is how he's been feeling, right? But he's ready to be over with it. And he's also, there's an ending, right? This could also represent a situation. Something is coming to an end for him. Maybe it's an era, maybe it's a time, maybe it's a belief system. Could be both, could be either one. But he's ready for it to be over. The completion is here. It's the dawn of the completion. He's saying he's done with it. He's putting in the work. He's trying to find balance. He recognizes this connection, and he's done with the bullshit. He's already felt like he's, lost the things that he wanted. This is a hard message for him to say, I think, because I feel super choked up, and so I feel like it's like difficult for him to say this for some reason, but he felt trapped in some place in his life, and he's over with that feeling of being trapped. He is ready to completely just be done with that energy. If he's not done with it already, he's doing the things necessary to just cut all ties with whatever that situation or scenario or thought process, belief system, whatever it is, he's cutting ties, or he already has. And, he's like, let's watch it crash and burn. Like, he's out in, the desert looking for new things and looking back, but, this is like sand, it's nothingness, it's the desert. It's dry. There isn't much there, right? But you see, sorry guys, you see he has these rods behind him and around him, and he's holding it and he's using it as a staff, it has life. These rods have life. They have life force. He's ready to just watch that other stuff die and become a desert and create with this new energy. He's looking back on a lot of stuff as well. He's going to be seeking out, or he should seek out, partnerships. Not necessarily partnerships, well, it could be, let's just say this, the partnerships that he should be seeking out are something that it's either having to do with his career, or having to do with his, family life, or having to do with his, whatever it is. He's going to be, or he will be beneficial if he brings that power, of this new creative energy that he has, once all of this other stuff is dead, to start creating something fruitful, right? But he's going to have to use his resources and allow other people's energy to nourish him as well. So he's ready for something to end. He's ready. He's killing his old self. This is what I get from this card. This next card is, this is the Two of Wands here, right? And the last one was the Three of Wands. With this card, the Four of Swords. What this says to me here is that he's ready to be done with his old self. He's actually transitioning into something really, really different and really, really new. He's coming up and he's starting to see, he's at the top of the wheel of fortune. He's got fortune and excitement and enthusiasm on his side. He may or may not realize the drop that's coming ahead, but at this point it's not the important part. He's on the rise, right? And it's divinely inspired. 4 of Cups. It's divinely inspired. Even with all the resistance he has to it, and he has a lot of resistance. If you see, right, this was a battle for him. Up here. You know, yeah, he's killing it, but this is a battle for him. You know, this is a battle. 9 of Swords, 10 of Swords, like, he's ready to be done, yes, but this is a lot of swords, right? This is a battle. It was hard. It wasn't easy. Has not been easy. Here we go. There was a lot of pain for him. 5 of Pentacles, right? Change. Painful change, unfortunately, but change. It's actually going to be, you know, a beneficial change in the end. Something that's beneficial. Wow. Okay. Okay, he's either going to experience, or experiencing now a great amount of change by his doing. So he's kind of doing it himself, but it's painful and it's not fun. Okay, but he's willing to do it. He's walking away from something. That this is the 6 of Swords again. He's very much in that having to overcome something type of energy. That's what the swords represent for me. It's like fighting. It's still a battle. It's still, you know, there's still danger. There's still something. But he's on the upside of getting beyond it. It feels it's not a total detriment. All of these swords in the reading. Okay, there's a lot of divine inspiration as well. He's moving towards becoming the Knight of Pentacles. That's where he is now. This is who he's trying to be, with all the swords he's carrying, with all of the fight that he's had in him. He's the Knight of Pentacles. This is where he's striving toward. Okay, which is, I think, is a great place to be, because he sees you as the divine feminine. You know, you've got everything. You are a master of yourself and of the world, and he sees you as this queen, you know, very abundant, very full, very nourishing. And he recognizes that, you know, these 2 beings are in 2 different places right now, right? But he's still looking, going, well, you know, I'm making it happen. You're over here having your thing, but just wait, hold on a second, because I am making it happen. He's putting in the work. He's putting in the work that's necessary. Hold on, guys. He's putting in the work that's necessary. He's doing it. You know, he wants to be financially stable. He wants to be able to provide for you what, you know, he believes that he should provide. He loves you very much. He's putting in the work. He's willing to do it. Or he's about to. Like, this is kind of, I'm not going to say this is definitely what's happening. This could be what's about to happen. Or, you know, he's kind of recognizing things and realizing that, you know, he's going to have to, well, this is sort of divine energy in the middle here coming in and going, okay, you know, the Wheel of Fortune is here. The 4 of Cups, divine inspiration. This is divine. This had to end. This part of his experience had to end. It's not as if he could have helped it, right? But he's becoming aware. You know, he knows. He recognizes the connection, right? Eight of Wands, he recognizes it. He knows it's the infinity. He recognizes the connection between you, and so he's going to do the work. He might not necessarily be conscious of everything, but he's doing the work anyway because he feels that it's what he needs to do. Judgment. So this card to me is like sometimes awesome, sometimes not so awesome. In this case, it represents the divine masculine and his sort of triumph, right? This is what he wants to move towards, to be able to sort of be the what's the best word to use? Not that, you know, a gallant steed, but he wants to step up. He wants to be you know, the strength for his divine feminine. So he, you know, is willing to kind of just run for it and jump in and go for it and be judged all the while, you know. He's getting ready. He's not ready yet, but he's getting ready. Emotionally, spiritually, he may not even really be very much on a spiritual path as much as you are, but he is getting ready. And then this last card comes up, is the Empress card. This is my favorite card in this deck. And it's my favorite because the Empress is just so strong. She's got the power of the moon here. She's got nature all around her. You know, she's I've talked about this before if you've seen any of my other videos, but the hand placements of these characters in the cards are incredibly important and significant as far as the messages go, and that's why I love these cards. Her hand placement in this card shows that she is not only enlightened and you know, aligned with source, but that she's an adept and a teacher, and you know, judgment for her doesn't exist because everything is, and so she allows it all to be. But she's also in her power, and she knows exactly, you know, how to manifest and how to do things and how to treat people well and how to treat the universe and treat, you know, the planet she's on, and she's the epitome of love, right? She's everything, and she creates from her heart. So, wow, that's a big card to end with. I think I'm going to just check the bottom of the deck really quick. Yeah, so Mr. Divine Masculine, you're going to see it all sort of come into fruition. The Divine Masculine will see it all come, but he has to be patient. Just allow the pain to be, right? It's not gonna go away. This is inevitable. Like I said, it's divinely inspired. It must happen. It's not going to not happen. So, you know, be patient. And it's all positive cards. I mean, all of these pentacles are work hard. You got to really put your effort in, and then a lot of them are loss in this reading. However, they're really powerful pentacles, and to me, no matter what, a pentacle energy ends in some sort of abundance or growth or expansion. So regardless of the fact that, you know, there's loss that's happening for him, and, you know, he has to be patient, and it's not going to be, you know, a fun time. Look at this right underneath that card. This is crazy. The Five of Cups, loss, you know, but these two cups are still standing. I was just doing a reading on Instagram, and this card was up again as well. You know, it's, yes, there is turmoil. This card is right underneath, and this card was in my reading 25 minutes ago on Instagram as well. Seven of Cups. It's there, it's coming, but it's divinely inspired. The clouds, look at all these clouds surrounding all of these cups, the different aspects of his life that are going to become full and abundant, right? But it's all divinely inspired. He doesn't really have any control over it, so he has to just kind of wait and let it happen. Watch it all go. So hopefully he can be patient and just chill. And if he does, underneath all of that, you know, he finds that magic of the infinity, of the divine twin flame connection, and he can actually step beside you instead of, you know, in a different place, in a different vibration. He can align himself with source. But he's just got to wait, and he's got to be patient and allow the change to happen, and also honest. Yeah. But I think that's a little bit of me, not necessarily the cards. Okay, so now I'm going to shuffle the cards again, and we will channel the message for the Divine Feminine. That was mad cool though. Okay. You know what? I'm just gonna take a quick sip of my fizz first. If you're watching, thank you for watching. Oh, I have a viewer. That's awesome. Hi. Hi, viewer. I have my camera on my altar and a bunch of like figurines and stuff, so I can't really see my screen that well. If you can see up here, that's my pyramid. But okay, I see it. Okay, Divine Feminine. What messages do we have for the Divine Feminine? She wants to be clear. She's like seeing things clearly. This card represents to me the way it came up, and I'm going to read it in reverse, and I don't normally read cards in reverse, but I'm going to do that today because of what I'm feeling I'm getting from it in this way. She sees the trickery of all things and all people. She's feeling maybe not 100% confident, but she sees and she knows. Her intuition is strong and it's deep. This is a completely different interpretation of this card. When you see this card, you're probably gonna laugh. But so I'm just gonna show you the card. Okay. This is the Hanged Man. What I get from this card, it's so funny because she says she wants to be clear, and then this is what I okay. So she says that she wants to be clear. She sees the world for what it is. She sees the divine masculine for who he is. She sees the lies, she sees deceit, she sees love, she sees by see I mean see and like understand. She energetically she knows. She has a knowing of things. So she can't be fooled. Wow, I've never read this card like this in my life. That's crazy. That's super crazy. All right. Wow, let's be clearer, Divine Feminine. Couldn't get any more clear than that. This is the oddest reading of that card. Whew. Divine Feminine, what's the message that you want to give today? What's really going on? What is really going on here? Yeah. Connection is there, obviously. She is a twin and she knows it. She has the energy of Pisces around her. which is, you know, it's actually, to me, Pisces also represents the twins, the twin fish. Pisces have a little bit of a dual personality usually. That's just a very general statement, but the energy is very dualistic. And that here in this, sorry, you can't see it, but what she has is the Eight of Wands and the Page of Cups. So the Eight of Wands, this card to me, again, it came up with the Divine Masculine just a few minutes ago. This card represents the Divine Union for me. It is an 8, it is infinity, and so it represents the infinity, right? Symbol of 8. Can't do it backwards, yes I can. Anyways, you get it. But in this card it's represented, right, there's clouds, there's a divine energy around this 8 energy. However, it's split in half, it's 4 and 4, so there's also a duality, there's a separation. This is the divine masculine, feminine masculine, however you want to see it. But it is a card for me that represents the divine union. This is a twin flame card. So she's going to talk about the twin flame card. This is a very specific message that's like piece by piece that I'm getting clearly. So I'm just going to go with my gut, and I'm not really reading the cards anymore. I think I'm more channeling, but she's going to do that through the cards. So I'm just going to bear with me. It might be a little bit choppy. Okay. Okay, let me show you. So, the Page of Cups is the next card. The Divine Feminine, she is, although she's becoming a master in some areas, she's also in an adept sort of stage in some areas of her life. The Page of Cups is representing that status of an adept, of someone who's still in transition, someone who is still learning, someone who is still, you know, an apprentice to a degree. Well, to an apprentice, period. Okay. So she's feeling the energy of needing to kind of run from the past a little bit as well. Not run necessarily, but just move on, like close up shop and kind of jump ship and move on to the next adventure. It's kind of a cold energy in this card, but I'm not really feeling that from her right now. I'm just feeling like she wants us to see this card because it represents like having the strength, using your strength and power to end some sort of energy, either belief system, situation. Once we keep going, we'll see whether, like, what that is actually about, but it's an ending. A 5. Sorry, a 6. So it's an ending that has already occurred, and it's ready. She knows it's time to kind of just close up shop and move on. Okay. So maybe that's, you know, the end of one journey, the start of another, moving into that adept stage, moving into more into alignment with a stage of learning for her. Okay. Sorry, I'm not in the camera. All right, what else you got? She's being very, oops, this is a very specific message, so I'm going to take my time, so again, please bear with me. this. Yeah, so she's still focused here. It's like there's no more information she needs about the connection. It's there already. She already knows. It's very strong. It's very her. It's very them. It's very, love. It's union. She sees it all. She knows exactly where it could move. Wherever stage you're in, if you're reading this for yourself or for your other twin, whatever it is, whatever stage the relationship is right now, as a divine feminine, you recognize the connection totally, fully. You understand it. It's not going anywhere. It's very grounded. This is one of the, again, twin flame cards. So we have another twin flame card kind of on the table. So I think what she's trying to say here, she's ready for the path of the twin flame. She's ready for the next stage of learning, right? As an adept, she's ready to take on that energy of, okay, what's the next thing to learn here? What's the next stage? What's the next step in the twin flame journey? Okay. Let's continue. Here we go. So the 10 of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles. There's a lot in this card. The 10 is a completion of a cycle. She's very able, and she recognizes it in herself right now to take care of business. She might not even be, on top of her game, but she sees the pathway for herself, or she's just like rocking it. Like there's some aspect for the divine feminine that's just rocking it right now. She feels great. She looks great. People are seeing her. But at the same time, wow, okay. What is she trying to say here? At the same time, as with all of that going on, she's very focused on she's isolating herself, if that makes sense. She's very much in the etherical. She's in her mind. She's focused. She's been focusing on the connection for so long that it's almost like it's cut off from the world. And if you notice, so how I'm reading this card right now is, and how I'm reading the energy is that it is a completion of a cycle, but the cycle that's being completed is isolation. She's sort of isolated herself in her mind with her twin. And the manifestation of what's going on around her isn't necessarily the same thing. So she's been in this sort of etherical world of 5D, let's be together, envisioning things and doing the mental work. But now it's time to sort of push that energy into the world and not just keep it in your mind. It's like putting more emphasis now on actually manifesting that reality, or not. But either way, it's come to a completion of she has to stop being in the dream world so much and re-enter herself into the old world. This dream of, the fun, happy, loving couple that does stuff together, and all that dream is like, it's closed off. The dream now needs to be done. She's on the outside. She's in the real world. They're locked away in the dream world, and she's out here. This is what I'm getting from this card. I'm reading these cards really oddly today, by the way. I'm very, very surprised. So I'm getting very different messages than I've ever gotten before from many of these cards. Not all, but very many. A good amount. Wow. Okay, what else? Threshold. Yeah, again, just a card of change. It's ready to move on. The transition. She's moving through the transition. She is already transited. She's already moved on to being the next version of herself. Okay? She's beyond the threshold. But I also get the idea that she kind of made this pass by herself. So she's dabbling back and forth and stepping in and stepping out. But at this point, right now, currently, she's beyond the threshold, looking back, going, hey, what's happening over here? She's kind of in her own world. The divine masculine, she's very much aware the connection is there. It's not like he isn't a part of her and she isn't a part of him, and that isn't a thing, but she's just focused elsewhere. Like, that's what I mean. Like, it's time for this dream world to be over with, you know? She's kind of, she sees, I don't know if you remember, she sees what's happening. Okay, earlier I read this card as, you know, this was a message from the divine feminine saying, you know, I see you, I see everything. Everything is clear to me. I'm on top of my game. Like, I may just look like a sitting duck, or who knows what I look like to anyone else. Who cares? She's just, like, really on top of things. The Hanged Man is kind of like the energy of, like, for me at least, somebody who looks like, maybe, basically what it looks like isn't necessarily what it seems, okay? That person may look like they don't have a lot of power, but actually they have all the power. Or that person may seem like, you know, maybe they're stuck, but actually, you know, in reality, they're actually doing things that make them, you know, unstuck. Whatever it is, reality does not match up with what it looks like or what it appears to be from somebody else's perspective. The Hangman has something up his sleeve. He's chilling right now. Like, he's good to go. You know, he might be hanging, but he's hanging by his foot. And he looks very capable of, you know, lifting himself up and getting himself out of there. Like, he's just perfectly fine in this position. And so I think with that in mind, how I read this card today is kind of like, she is just on top of things. She's okay. She may seem like she's hanging, but she's not. She's right side up. She's perfectly fine. As far as, you know, her awareness and seeing things and seeing what's going on with the twin flame connection. It's very real to her. It's been real to her for a very long time. It's old news. Not that it isn't as grand as it always has been. You know, it's there, and she'd love the connection to continue, but it's there. Okay? Now it's time for that dream world stuff to be over with. She sees what's going on, and she's on the other side of the threshold, kind of looking back, going, okay, you know, do I step back into the world with all the shit that I want to leave behind? Right? We're moving past that. Do I want to go back beyond that side after, you know, before my graduation, I graduated, I moved forward, I evolved as a being, I evolved as a person. And all that other stuff is now actually dying. I can see it happening. You know, it's no longer in existence for my life. However, you know, do I want to step back in anyway? Because, you know, I have to sort of, I want to meet my twin. I want to have my twin. I want to be there. And he's not necessarily there, you know, on the other side of the threshold with me. He's back there. So it's kind of weighing a balance right now. She's like, I see everything that's going on, but, you know, I'd love to keep this moving, but you, I'm sorry, my love, are still a knight. You're still fighting a fight, and I'm, you know, over here trying to love. She's like, she sees the growth in the divine masculine, but it's like, bro, I recognize your growth. I'm really happy for you, homie, but I need to leave all this dream shit in the past. Excuse my French, but she's ready to be beyond. So she recognizes his knightship, and, you know, she commends him for that, but it's not seeming to be like it's, I hate to use the word enough, because, you know, everyone is enough. But for her right now, her standards are high. Her standards are high. Wow. So the Nine of Rods. This is a little bit of the masculine energy, I think. Here, I'll show you guys. She recognizes his effort. She recognizes his work. She sees that he's on the cusp of becoming. She sees that it's possible. She's watching him grow. It's not as if it isn't, you know, visible. She sees it. She sees it. What else you got? I'm not sure how many more cards. I'm feeling a little bit of a shift in the energy. Let's see, that's too many. Be more clear. Okay, the moon. Woo! And Temperance. So she is timing herself. It's time, if she isn't already, she needs to start timing herself. It's time to know yourself as a woman. This card represents, in this reading particularly, it's screaming to me womanhood. It's screaming to me the moon, the energies of a woman, and the relationship that she has with the moon. And for me, the relationship I have with the moon, for instance, is I recognize the patterns in my personality. I recognize different patterns in my behavior, in my emotional state of mind. And I recognize the relationship between them and the moon because of how they shift and how they move. And so for me, this card in this reading from the Divine Feminine is representing knowledge of self, trying to go deep within herself, and you know, knowing her ebbs and flows and her quirks and being okay with them, and really, 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 really starting to study herself on all aspects, physical aspects, mental aspects, emotional aspects. Because right here we have the Temperance card, which is one of my favorite cards. Temperance has so much balance. It's balance, it's love, it's just enough pressure, it's just enough heart, it's just enough strength, it's just enough love, it's just enough knowledge, it's just enough power, it's just enough everything. That's what I feel from this card. And the ability to be a mason, the ability to be a master mason, or what's the word I'm really reaching for? A manifestor, a creator, a manipulator of the ether, right? Being able to do things, you know, and having your creations, your ideas, your thoughts come into existence because you're so in tune and so aligned with all things. There's just enough of everything to be able to produce things in an easy, you know, in an easy way with love. It's trying to get a hold of me. She's really on top of her game, or this is what she's going towards. So it's time for a little bit of self deep diving and finding temperance, finding balance. This is really awesome. This is where she's at. She recognizes the divine masculine and everything that he's doing, and she commends him for it, but she's like, I'm all about me, dude. Which is good. And if she's not feeling that, it's time. It's time to focus on yourself, divine feminine, and it's time to show yourself some love and kindness and time, and get to know your inner self. Get to know your guidance if you don't already. become more in tune with yourself and with the planet. Okay, last couple of messages. Ooh. Yeah, she's like, only a fool. Only a fool would do this blindfolded, right? I'm actually literally just reading this exactly for what it is. This is like a joke, I swear to God. This is a really weird reading. I've never read tarot like this before. She's like, yeah, you have to be a fool to do this blindfolded. This is her speaking to the Divine Masculine. I'm not doing this blindfolded. You have to be a fool for that. Okay, I'm only going to pull 2 more cards. This is pretty cool. What else do you have? Divine Feminine, what's the message? What is really going on? I can literally like hear laughter. It's awesome. She's like dying of laughter. This message is awesome. Time to lighten it up, I think, guys. Divine Feminine, it's time to lighten it up. Have some fun, let loose a little. I think she already is. Your inner Divine Feminine is ready to rock. I'm not sure she has any more messages. I feel like she might be done. I think that's it. She's like laughed herself into a frenzy. She's on the floor. That's awesome. Yeah, I think she's done. That's it. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Wow. What a cool reading. What a really cool reading. Okay. I am going to say thank you so much for watching. I had a lot of fun, actually. That was really, 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 really cool. Thank you so much. Peace and love to you. Stay blessed. Stay awake. Love yourself. Take baths.